In the smartphone world, most of the time the public's gaze is pointed at your Samsungs and Apples and LGs, the brands that make the flashiest and most eye-catching devices out there. But they are far from the only players on the market, especially once you enter markets such as China, where the no-compromises approach doesn't work out nearly as well. So it's no surprise that Xiomi, one of the bigger smartphone makers in the People's Republic, would make its flagship device, the Mi 6, so seemingly pedestrian. It has already proven it can do new and weird with the Mi Mix, but now it's time to actually sell devices, so some corners inevitably have to be cut to be able to deliver good specs at a competitive price. Battery. The Mi 6's battery life is pretty good, with its non-replaceable 3350 mAh battery scoring 9 hours and 14 minutes in our custom battery test. This beats every other Snapdragon 835 device out there, save for the OnePlus 5, which scored a full 4 minutes more. In practical terms, this means the Mi 6 will comfortably last you a whole day of moderate to high usage and still have some juice left, though your mileage will inevitably vary depending on your specific usage patterns. Conclusion. Here's the short version: the Mi 6 is a good phone, with a few compromises. The biggest one, and also one that we haven't discussed so far, is the fact that for most of you out there, there's no easy way of buying it. That is, the Xiomi Mi 6 is sold only in a handful of countries, so your best bet for getting one would be to order it from a Chinese retailer and hoping for the best. And even then, you should make sure it can actually connect to your network, as it only supports a narrow subset of LTE bands. But if you're willing to take the risk, the phone will, in theory, net you about $360 for the 64GB model and $420 for the 128GB, which puts it in a price range once comfortably occupied by OnePlus, but now desperately seeking new occupants. And what you'll get for that money is a top-of-the-line performer with a reasonably good camera and a number of extra features, which should be enough to satisfy many people out there. That's the good news, though. The bad news is that the chances of you actually getting such a low price is fairly small, as importers often considerably mark up the price, putting the Mi 6 at about the same price as a number of other devices, the most notable of which is probably its most direct competitor, the OnePlus 5. So even though we'd comfortably call it a pretty good device, its drawbacks are still something well worth considering: the lack of a headphone jack, a heavily customized MIUI, and the subpar screen are all potential deal breakers that shouldn't be dismissed easily.